All righty. All right. Let me take my mask off.
I was going to say, don't you have to wait for the blinking? Oh, it's blinking. Go ahead.
All right, everyone, welcome. This is our Wednesday Wisdom, where we go over tips, tricks, and information on saxophone repair. Today, we are doing vintage tenon receivers on saxophones. We're going to give you an overview of Selmer, SML, Conn, Buescher, Martin, and kind of show you the ins and outs of those and how we deal with them here at the Sax Pro Shop. Today is also the fifth and final Wednesday of Saxtember, and we are super excited to be releasing our final horn of this month, and that's going to be our Martin Committee tenor. This received a bunch of modifications and a complete overhaul and refinishing and a bunch of different stuff, and we're going to show you that the details of that on Friday, and you'll also get to hear that horn with Benny Hill. He's going to play that for us. This is also the last chance for you to win a set of custom key risers for Saxtember. So if you're watching this stream either now or before Friday, make sure you put Saxtember into the comments below, and we will enter you in, and we're going to do the drawing on Friday when we play this Martin tenor. And we're also going to show you the Buescher tenor that is right here, and we're going to show you the different mods that we did on that one. Let's see, what else do we have? We've got, we had a lot of fun picking last week's winner. Last week's winner, by the way, was Neil By. So Neil, thank you for getting up with me, and we're going to get you your set of custom key risers, so make sure you guys enter the drawing so you can win again. Okay, now, so since we've been working on a bunch of vintage horns over the years here, we've seen pretty much all the different iterations of saxophone neck tenons. There are some interesting ones.
Very different. Very different.
And we're going to give you the different details and such on those. And, you know, Ryan, let's, do you want to go alphabetical, reverse, or?
Let's start with the easiest first. Well, most common, I think.
Okay.
The most common, which I believe is this Selmer. I'm going to say Selmer style, but it's, you can say Yamaha style. You can say whatever.
Yamaha, Selmer, Conn, Buescher. Like basically it's a cylinder with a slot.
What? Sorry.
A cylinder with a slot.
Yes, indeed. So this is our Selmer super balanced action. It does have a nice Wilmington neck in here, but as you can see from the super up close, this is your receiver right here, and it has a slot. Okay, now it's not actually at the 12 o'clock position. They did slightly offset this slot, but this style receiver is what you'll see most common in pretty much any instrument made nowadays. Selmer, Yamaha, Yanagasawa, they all have this kind of version with this one slot. And what has to happen, first thing is very important, is this tenon right here has to fit tightly in this receiver in order for it to be airtight. A lot of guys will actually tighten this receiver thinking it's going to make your neck more airtight, and that is unfortunately and surprisingly not the case. Okay, this tenon has to fit airtight. The purpose of this receiver screw is just to prevent the neck from spinning as you're playing. Okay, so when I first put this neck in, even before I tighten this up, this neck should be airtight. Okay, whatever means you do, and we've had plenty of videos about fitting necks. But yeah, you can see the most common. Now, I will give you a bonus tip. Okay, when you're dealing with players, this is really for the players. Okay, not so much for the technicians. So players, listen up. When your neck is not in your instrument, when you go and pack it away and put it away, do not tighten this neck receiver. Okay.
So the screw
should be loose. The screw should be loose when this is packed away. Even if you have your end plug in here, doesn't matter what type of end plug you have. When your instrument doesn't have the neck in it, this neck receiver screw should be loose. What tends to happen is this receiver, which is nice and perfectly round with the slot in it, okay? If you keep this slot tight, what will end up happening is this receiver will start to turn into an egg. Okay, because you're just tightening it here, and it's bringing this in. So we go from a nice round receiver to having a receiver that is egg-shaped if you keep this tight. Okay, so that's a nice little bonus tip for you guys, you players, is do not tighten it. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that for a number of years. I would do the same thing where you just tighten this back up when you put it back in the case. That's not the case, pun intended. So yeah, so leave this with all types.
Gotcha.
Okay, just to be sure.
No matter the type of tenon that you
have. No matter
the
type it is, just do not over tighten it. And do not think that this tightening receiver screw is going to make your neck more airtight.
So if you're having problems in the low end with low end response and you take your horn in and your technician takes the leaks out and if it's still not working, there's a chance that you have a problem with your tenon.
Absolutely. Tenon receiver, yeah. It's just like having a leak. If this neck pad here were to stay open, it would affect every single note downstream. Same thing here. If you had a leak right here in your tenon receiver, it would affect every single note. Like you said, if you're having problems, especially down low, because you can really notice it down low. Playing up here, you won't maybe notice it as much. But the further you get down the neck, especially when you get down into the bell keys, you're definitely going to notice some kind of airiness. It's not going to project as much, and the resonance just won't be there.
How do you know, or do you have a tool that you use, Ryan, to check for neck leaks?
Yes, absolutely. I got this guy right here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, and this is our neck checker. I use this in conjunction with our leak tester. And what this does, I'll draw a quick little demo for you guys. So here's the receiver. Here's the body of the saxophone. Tone holes.
Very nice.
Tone holes. So what this does is you put this in and actually this little rubber gasket expands. So when you tighten that rubber gasket, it's going to expand. So we're going to be right here and it's going to expand. And then I'm going to put the neck on. So here's me putting the neck on. Sorry. Not the scale. Okay. But what this does is this isolates this area. Okay. And then I'm going to put my leak tester in here. I put my hose here and then I fill this with air and this blocks it off. And then the leak tester tells me whether or not this joint right here, this connection between your receiver and your tenon, whether or not it's airtight.
Okay, cool. So they can test it with the leak tester. They can test it with a smoke test, right? Old school.
The old school way, yeah, it's to blow smoke into it. Nowadays, I think that's maybe frowned upon, especially if it's a certain type of smoke.
They could vape it.
You could vape it. Yeah, you could
there.
vape your necks. It's really Swiffering the nation. So it's yeah. So
Very nice. All right, we started with Selmer. Let's move on to the how about Buescher?
Buescher. Yeah, let's do Buescher. I think you got a Buescher.
I got a piece of a Buescher.
Piece of a Buescher. There's a pieces and parts of a Buescher, and a Buescher is again fairly similar to the Selmer style, where it's just the single slot. Now they do put theirs at the 12 o'clock position, but it's the same concept. Okay, where this neck, whatever neck goes in, still needs to fit tight within the receiver. This neck screw right here, again, is just to prevent the neck from turning left and right. Okay, you would fit it the exact same way you would do it on a Selmer.
Right.
So yeah, same thing with a lot of Conns. A lot of Conns are this way as well. Let's go to something a little extra. Let's show them our Buescher.
Oh, okay.
Which is technically SML style.
Okay.
So what we have here, the SML was a brand of saxophone that they had a very specific and very unique type of receiver, and it's a 4-slotted receiver. I don't know if you can see these, but there's a slot here, 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 and here. Okay, it kind of makes an X. And what this does is this gives you nice, even clamping pressure around the tenon. If we have just one slot, what tends to happen is it does this, and you can see how my hand goes from being round to being egg-shaped, because I'm just bringing it in this way. When I have 4 slots here, it's a lot more even clamping pressure all the way around the neck. Mm-hmm. Again, the same still applies, where when you put your tenon into this receiver, it should still be airtight. This tightening just prevents that neck from spinning. Speaking of spinning, check that out.
How does that work?
That's
funny.
It's interesting, yeah. So this band here is actually just free floating. So it's not soldered on. Okay? There's a channel that has actually been machined into this receiver. It's one that we actually made here in the ProShop. So there's a channel that's machined in here, and this ring actually just slides in there. Okay. Another nice thing about this SML style, although it's not its main feature, is you can flip what side your neck screw is on. So if you're left-handed, or if you're right-handed, or you just don't care, you can put it either way.
So they can just remove that ring, loosen it, remove it, slide it back
Flip it off,
on.
flip it over, put it back on, and then you can turn this so this key is over here.
So that SML style we've put onto the Buescher instrument, and we're going to show you guys more of that in detail on Friday. But that will give them even pressure, and so does the rule with the thumb screw apply?
It does, yeah. You're still going to want it to fit airtight. Again, this is just for, it keeps this tenon, I guess, in round a little bit better than maybe, let's say, other receivers that just have one slot.
Okay.
But yeah, the same applies where when you put that tenon in, it should still fit airtight even before you tighten your neck key.
Okay. Very cool.
So this is SML style. We also did, I believe we put this on a bass as
Yes.
well. This style, it's very popular. This is when I've put this on Aristocrat altos as well. So it's a very popular style. And I believe we found out from our last broadcast that the new Selmer Supremes
True.
have this style of receiver.
Yes, they've gone back to that.
Yes, they've gone back to that. So.
Very cool. Hey, thank you guys for putting in sax timbre into the comments. That's awesome.
Everybody's paying attention. Yes.
All
Sax
right.
timbre. Put it in the comments. Right there it is. Right there. Sax timbre.
Let's move on to Martin.
We're going to do
Shall
the Martin. And this receiver is also very unique. And this receiver it's also key why your receiver and your tenon need to fit airtight, and you don't want to rely on any kind of screw to make it airtight, because this is actually very, very different. So if I take this neck out and we look at the receiver of this Martin, you'll notice there is no slot.
Cool.
Yes, very cool.
It is. Wow.
Neato. So there is no slot. So there is no, you notice there's no key on here as well. So there's no way to tighten this neck in the receiver. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You notice this guy right here. Okay. This is actually how we prevent, again, like I keep saying, is that tightening of the neck screw prevents that neck from twisting back and forth. And we do get that from right here. Okay. There's actually a big plate that sticks down in front of that tenon. And when you tighten that screw, you can see there's an actual channel here on the receiver. So when I put that together and I tighten that down, that screw is actually engaged in that channel, and it prevents this neck, you can see, from twisting. If I loosen this up, the neck can freely move. But again, most important thing is when I first put this in, this is airtight.
Now, how do you test for leaks there, and how do you fit those two parts?
You would test it the same way. So you would use your neck leak isolator. You would put this down so that this rubber gasket is just below that receiver line on the inside.
Okay.
You would assemble everything. You would put your leak tester hose to the end of the neck. You would check it out, whatever it reads. Hopefully it reads down to a 0. But as far as adjusting it, you can see you can't really adjust this traditional means using the can opener style expander or our neck sizing collet. So what you can do is there's two ways. You can either unsolder this big plate from this collar right here, or you can unsolder this tenon from this whole thing. Take it out, do your adjusting, do your fitting, and then resolder it back on. Okay. So those are, I think what we did here in the ProShop, we actually removed the tenon. We kept this whole part together. In fact, you'll see a picture of it on Friday when we do our slideshow. How we just removed the tenon, fit that separately in the receiver, and then resoldered it back on. And you can see how it fits. There's no wiggle. Nice and airtight. Will still move, but this is what's going to give you that stop.
Very cool.
So Martin style.
And then for the last one that we're going to do is going to be the Conn double socket.
Double socket.
Man, that saxophone looks nice.
This is the customer's horn. So you can't buy this, folks.
That's shipping out today, isn't it?
It's very, very soon. Yep.
Very cool.
We got the box ready and everything. But this is a double socketed neck, and this was very common on Conns. This is the Conn 6M. It was also common on certain models of Kings, Zephyrs, and very early King Super 20s had a double socketed neck. And you can see here when I take this off, what this looks like is it looks like the tenon, rather than being on the neck, is actually on the body. It's almost like they reversed it, but with a slight little twist. Okay, so it's not just a matter of putting the receiver on the neck and putting the tenon on the body. It's a little bit more than that. If we look into the actual neck there's another smaller tenon. Okay, and if I can draw this out very quickly with my expert art skills.
Yeah, that'll be. It's a little hard to see, at least on our monitor.
So here we are. Here's the body of the saxophone. There's tone holes. Okay, so here's this now tenon that's on the body, and then we have the neck. And what the neck has, it actually has a smaller receiver that fits inside this other receiver. Okay, so this receiver on the inside fits on the inside of this receiver, and then this outer portion actually goes around like so. And this is what actually has, again, the screw in the slot. So this is how you tighten the neck and prevent that neck from twisting back and forth. So you can see it's actually 2 tenons. And again, the same applies where this tenon has to fit airtight on the inside of this tenon. And then this outer portion has to fit tight enough so that when you tighten the neck, it doesn't spin back and forth.
So now how do you work on that when you've got a player coming in with complaints?
This is even trickier, yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of you can get away with just adjusting this.
Okay.
Okay. But chances are you're going to have to do some work on that inner tenon. So you may have to do some unsoldering. In fact, here's a Conn receiver. You can see, and it has that inner tenon that has been removed. Okay, so this will fit over top, but that other tenon is going to go inside of this. Okay, so you can see it is very airtight. So if the air is coming up here, it's very difficult for that air to come up through here and then come out through here and then out here. Okay. It does require a little bit more work, where you may have to unsolder things just like with the Martin. But it can be done.
It can
It
be
can be
done.
Can be done.
Well, Ryan, thank you for that excellent explanation. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been our Wednesday Wisdom, where we go over tips, tricks, and information on saxophone repair. Make sure that you put the Saxtember hashtag into the comments below so you can be entered into the drawing for this Friday. We're going to do our drawing. We're also going to play our Martin tenor with our good friend Benny Hill. We're also going to go do an overview of all of the modifications that we've done on the Martin that we released today, as well as the Buescher tenor, which was kind of an insane project. And thank you, everyone who put your hashtag already into the comments. You guys will be entered in. Next Wednesday, we're going to go over we're going to do a course preview of Ryan's modifications course. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
It is.
It's modification.
Modifications October 7th, and then flute padding on October 8th. So whether you're a saxophone tech, or you're a brass technician, or you are an okay flute technician, Scott Mandeville's going to be doing an advanced flute padding course so you can become a masterful technician at flute padding and flutes. It's a tough one.
Scott's a great teacher, though.
Yes,
So
excellent. He's excellent instructor, and it's an excellent course, and it's only a day. So get your CEUs credit. CEUs. Get your CEUs credits.
CEUs, guys.
CEUs. Get your CEUs. Earn some more money for your shop. That's going to do it for now, guys. Make sure you enter in the drawing, and we will see you next time. Or we'll see you like later in the stream.
Just trying to press the button. It's down slightly. There it is.